The problem with depression is that it involves and affects both our bodies and our minds and emotions, and we can get stuck in one or both of these areas.
Pain was unbearable, could hardly live with it, couldn't sleep more than 3 hours a night.
I fell into a deep depression for about a year.
I went through several different periods of depression. It was kind of a roller coaster where I would be up and down and up and down.
I remember a time after my divorce when I refused to think I was depressed because only weak, pathetic people get depressed. So after pushing myself through months of, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I finally collapsed. I wasn't sick, but I couldn't get out of bed. I was tired, I felt hopeless and disgusted with myself. After a few days of calling in sick and not even showering or even brushing my teeth, I finally got up to make some coffee and caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. Ugh, you're ugly, I said. You're disgusting, you stink, and you're fat. I was filled with self-loathing. Instead of consciously calling to Christ and inviting Him in to help me with my misery, I forgot all about Him and turned it all inward. It was a vicious cycle, my negative thoughts affecting me physically and my physical depression feeding my negative thoughts. Maybe you've been depressed, a lot, or just a little. Regardless, let's look at 5 important things to remember about depression. Isolation is sometimes necessary. Time off to heal, either inside or out, is absolutely necessary. Even Jesus got away from everyone, went up to the hillside of Jerusalem, and cried over his lost sheep.
Initially, when I was still living in the house for that 2-month time frame, I would have days where I couldn't get out of bed. And I would just stay in bed with the covers over my head, literally.
I quit working. I didn't really ever leave the house. I stayed home all the time. I surrounded myself with people that were also depressed, who wouldn't give me any advice. I quit paying my bills. I quit life. I quit living. I just stayed in my house for about a year and hid from everybody, hid from myself, tried to hide from God, and that doesn't work.
Several cardinal symptoms of depression. A blue mood. A constriction of activities. The things I used to enjoy, I don't enjoy anymore.
I always had kind of a struggle with depression. Even when I was married, I was always accused of sleeping a lot.
Well, when I locked myself up in my house, luckily I had a pool, so I spent almost all day, every day, laying out on a little raft and just floating and thinking about how terrible my life was. I floated my life away for a year, and it was absolutely. It's so sad to look back at those times because I had a wonderful house, I had a great job, my own business. I had really good friends that I cut myself off from. I didn't want to hear what I was doing was wrong. I just wanted to do it.
At that point, I began to withdraw and stay away from a lot of people, friends, family.
Lack of energy, hard to get going.
It was suggested to me that I exercise, but I didn't have the energy to exercise. It was all I could do to get out of bed.
Couldn't sleep at all. Every night, my life was like a motion picture. Click, 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 click. That's all I saw, my eyelids, trying to figure out where did I go wrong.
Poor eating, poor concentration, an overall general malaise.
So there's going to be times when we're all going to need to just kind of go through a period of grief and mourning. That's human. Jesus cried. So who are we not to think that there's going to be times when we're going to cry? And that's okay.